SLU-PP is a experimental estrogen receptor agonist. So people are abbreviating this to SLU-PP, which I think is hilarious. It's a fantastic, out of all the research chemical SARM names, I think RAD 140 sounds pretty cool, but I think SLU-PP sounds better. So this is now I will completely preface this. I am not fully versed on this. People have asked me about this, so I have looked into it, but I'm not an expert. Personally, I'm not really into the niche and novel pharmaceutical research chemicals. I think both Stephen and I are actually big advocates of not taking experimental drugs. I think that's a pretty good rule to have, because if it's not a life or death situation, taking something that's an unknown has, when we're looking at the risk to reward equation, the risk of the unknown is enormous. If you're healthy and you're taking a experimental research compound for the sake of putting on a bit of muscle or dropping a bit of body fat, I don't recommend rolling that dice over just doing the work of getting a little bit more uncomfortable with training and diet. So SLU-PP is a experimental estrogen receptor agonist. People are saying some very interesting things about what it does. I've read the research. I believe there is currently, I don't want to get this wrong, but I can't say that I know exactly, but there's less than 5 studies on it, all in rats. I believe there's 2 or 3 studies on it in rats. There's no studies on it in humans. And I don't even think there's any long-term studies on it in rats. So it's an experimental estrogen. It seems to be an estrogen analog or an estrogen agonist. It hasn't been studied in humans. It does some interesting stuff at the estrogen receptor that we know about. We have absolutely no idea what this does in humans. We have absolutely no idea what else this could do in humans. I think that from a lot of the research on other estrogenic compounds that are not bioidentical estrogens, synthetic estrogens, we know that these things are not good for things like cancer growth. So it's not something I would be messing around with personally. I'm just also going to put this out there. Find anyone online who's promoting this stuff who isn't selling it. That would be my my challenge.
Exactly. Always be very careful with experimental drugs. Shorting a few years ago, there was a worldwide rollout of some experimental jabs. I don't remember exactly why they were, but yeah, don't mess with those. All right.